Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome to Banz on the Beats, another episode where we show you how we make these beats. I break it down layer by layer, give you what you're looking for, make something to nod your head to. You know what's good. My name Chris Banz. If you don't know already, this is where you come to get that fire beat, to get those beats going. All right. So we got something special for y'all today. Another great episode, another banger is about to pop out. So just for y'all who don't know, this is the studio. You know, that's the booth right there. I'm still in the process of building it, and I think I just have to put the glass in. Yeah. So if you're looking for, if you like I said, if you new beat maker or you more experienced beat maker, I think you can learn something here on this channel. You know, we always doing something new, always trying to, bring in that all original sound. I like to make my music all original. I'm not a big, huge fan of samples. I use them on occasion, rare occasion, but everything is original for this particular platform right here that we're doing right now. Don't y'all worry, I'm gonna hook y'all up with some nice beats, some melodic sounds. Today we got a nice little episode. So let's dive into the sauce, man. Let's not even waste no time. Let's get right to it, get to the business for what y'all came here for. All right, let's go.
KB beats, so quit playing.
All right, y'all. Like I said before, I like to lay the melody. Then I do either the bass line or drums. I do the drum pattern, either one. I switch up the bass line and drums depending on how I feel. You may have your own little, way of doing it. You may drop your drum program first and then throw a melody on top of it. Me, I love the melody, and I think that's where you get started. There's not a perfect way to do it. You can do it however you like. There's no hard set rules, protocol, standard, or whatever. Just make sure it bang. But this is just how I do it. So maybe you could pick up some of these tips, use them for your own. You're welcome. All right, so let's get it started. Right here, I got this beat already queued up. It's a pre-made beat. I won't be making my beats live. Maybe I will. I'll choose to do a live session or something. Maybe I'll pop out and do a live session for y'all, see how that go. All right, so this beat right here, I wanted to make something that bang, obviously, something that got you in your seat, like, you know what I mean, like something like that, you know what I mean, something to get you going, something for the club, maybe even something for you that just go hard. I think a lot of the times when you make a fire, a crazy fire beat, it open up your lyricism. Like as a writer, you get in there, you just like, oh man, I gotta go hard on this, and it kind of get you amped up to write something cold. And if you're an experienced writer, you don't really get too excited about, you hear a lot of beats. Maybe you're going through a lot of, beat packs and things like that. But when you hear something and you're an experienced writer, you like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do with it. I got something in the bag for this. But still, for people who, like to get excited about hearing that beat first, and then, writing something crucial to it, writing something hot to it, that's the beat typically plays a large part in why you get hyped in the first place. This first sound I use is from a Fabric plugin using the MPC X. It's called Rusty Chops. Every single time I make a beat, it's like, how did I feel? How do I feel? I don't remember exactly how I felt when I was making this, but I do know that just listening to the beat, I had to be feeling like, yeah, I just got to make something hot, something creative, something tight. It wasn't like a specific, mood to it. It was just like a, man, let's make something that's gonna bang and then make people write to it with some real lyricism and some real, some skills. You gotta have some skills behind. You can't fumble this beat, is what I'm saying. I did a B minor. So if you see, I stayed in the B minor. What made me pick that particular style, that particular chord? I don't know. Just like I said, sometimes when you make a beats, I made it go like this. The pattern or the sequence. But you could have took it up an octave and made it sound like this. It's whatever you feel and whatever you think sound hot. That's the beauty of making a beat, because at the same time you don't know what you're about to make. When you start creating it and it sound good, you just like, okay, I see where it's going. Like, you can find the direction that you want to take it in based on, like a few elements that you throw in and tinkering around a little bit. So like I said in the past, always save things, never just toss them. If you don't want them, keep them. All right, so that's the part that I have for the Rusty Chops, for the plugin, fabric plugin, just like this. And if you notice, I chose not to add any other chords to it. No, like no other elements to it. I just kept it the same. I kept the same chord, just played the same chord repeatedly, but I played it in a specific pattern, that dun, 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 dun. Feel like you getting ready for something. I feel like it's like, like something is about to happen, and that's what I'm building with the beat. That's the first track. Let's play the first track first. The Rusty Chops, this is how they sound by themselves, like this. I put the metronome in there so you can kind of like get the pattern or whatever. A side note on tempos, it's good to have a reference track, and you could pick a tempo from a track that you like, maybe even something that you find catchy, like you're trying to make, like say for instance, you trying to make something that go in the club. Don't just pick a random tempo. Find tempos that are known for being club songs. You got to do some research, think about this stuff before you make it. Like have some intentions. You want to be more intentional with your production, and you want to level up and become a more professional at it. You're going to have templates, you're going to have intention, you're going to have, like a set of bass kick snares that you go through all the time. You're going to have all of this stuff set up, and you're going to have like your stuff organized. That's that sauce. This next track is another fabric plugin where I used something called heavy metals, and I just took it an octave up and played the same B minor. That's how I played it. Right there. That's it. Now, the reason I played it like that is because I don't want it to clash with the first melody that I made. And that's the problem with what a lot of people would say is overproducing. But I don't think it's overproducing when you're able to use those sounds and pick and choose and have options during the mixing process, where you may add some of those sounds in for the hook, for the bridge in the beginning only. And, like it's a signature. You may find a signature sound in it. And then that's how you differentiate between this artist and this artist, because they got a specific sound. You have to develop a sound. I know, a lot of y'all listen to, different type of music, but when you listening to your favorite artist and you like, man, that sound like a beat that what's his name should be on. You think that's on accident? It's not. It's not. That's not on accident. They are building specific sounds for you, and your producer is, I want that 2 Chainz type of feel. I want that Drake type of feel. I want that, I want that Lil Baby type of beat. Like that's why they have their own signature sounds. But as a producer, you just making beats, but you may not have an artist or anything that you produce for. But the thing is, you can still create signature sounds with your beats that kind of coexist with, like different artists that you know of or up and coming artists. And then that'll help you also market your beats to them. So if you hear the type of beats that they like, it's a variation of what you've done, or you can make a variation of what the type of beat that they already, are famous for, or lightweight famous for. Then you can market towards them with that beat. That's the sauce, man. I'm trying to tell you, right? That's the sauce. All right. So again, this is the heavy metals, track 2, and it's how it sound. 2, 3, 4. Hey, 2, 3, 4. That means 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And that's all it does. It's just an accent to the first track we put in. Let me play that solo. Oh, I played it higher, on a higher octave. I was playing it a little lower. All right. So we got our rusty chops, heavy metals. Let's throw in this little hype plug-in. These are analog pipes. I think I did something real simple with this. It's to build some drama in it. I went low with notes, but I stayed in the scale. Remember, stay in your scale, and it'll help you find all the sounds that you need to find that sound good with your song. So I did a little variation of the original melody. And you hear how it sound a little dramatic. It's like something coming. And so I knew when I picked that sound, when I was flipping through, like trying to find sounds to use, I stumbled upon that, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's gonna do it. When you know, like, and then you kind of play the other melodies with it while you search for sounds. Because if you don't do that, then it's kind of hard to reference what sounds good with it. You can always, mute them and then unmute them and then listen to the sound, but it's best to just play it with the sound so you can hear exactly what sounds good with it, unless you just already know and you just that good, you know what I mean? Level up. But this how it sound on when I recorded it, soloed out. Track 3, these are the analog pipes from the hype plug-in. Y'all hear that? Yeah. Yeah. Let me throw that metronome in there. Okay. Sound like trouble coming. Sound like it's it's ominous in the background. Who's over there? Who's that? Let me see how that sounds. Sounds like, who's over there? Yeah. Let me get out of character. And maybe it should be in a movie. I don't know. This is where we at right now. So we got the rusty chops, the heavy metals, and then the analog pipes from hype plug-in. This is how they all sound together right here. Remember that. Yeah. It's the metronome. You hear where it's going? Yeah. All right. So as you can see, that sound real dramatic right there, and I like that sound. So me personally, if that's not for you, that's fine. But me, I like that dramatic build up, and that's why I do the melody first. So now you feel me. I wasn't done with the melody. I thought that it needed a little something else. And as I was flipping through the sounds, so I didn't know exactly what it was missing, but I know I wanted it to have something. I wanted to have like a pumping sound. And I didn't know where I can find that. So I'm just scrolling through my sounds. I landed on something from the Odyssey plugin. It's called Digi. And then I really simply just played the scale that I'm in the scale that I'm in, which is B right now. And it's a B minor. And I just played a B. You hear that little, like that little pumping. You hear that? That little pumping sound right there is what I was looking for, slightly what I was looking for, and then I added like some effects to it. I didn't do too much though. But point being, I got what I was looking for right there. And I just played it like this. Let me solo it out. Let's play it like this with the metronome on. So it's just dropping every bar. So it's dropping every time. So I'm not doing too much with it. It's like just it's like I'm complimenting the melody that I already have. Now I'm gonna play the whole thing together so you can make sure that you listen for that pumping noise, that pumping effect from the digi that I just played. You'll hear it. Here it go. You hear that? All right. So the thing is, like when you're listening to that right there, if you're an inexperienced person or somebody who doesn't know, too much about it, like when you hear that finished product, that full song, you'll listen to that melody when I break it down, and there's a part of the song where you just hear the beat, then you think, man, that's one sound. You be like, that's one sound. Where's that sound? Then you go and buy a bunch of, like add-ons and plugins and, like all type of stuff and trying to look for that one sound when we building sounds as producers. What we're doing is layering sounds. It sounds like one sound, and we cohesively bring everything together and glue everything together with saturation and all type of effects that you may use in the mixing process. But what you're doing is essentially bringing it all together, and it sound like one glued, put together piece of art. It's a piece of work put together. So it's not just one sound. It's hard to hear them. You wouldn't even know that was two different sounds. You would think it was part of one sound. Here, let me play that again just so you can hear it again. Now I muted it. Unmuted. You hear the difference, right? So it brings some dynamic feel to the beat. It brings some more drama to it, and something is coming. Something is getting ready to build up. So, or it's building up and something is coming. I love my strings. I added some strings in here. This is the cello, but I used it in a lead type fashion. So I made it like the lead of the song. I put a little reverb to it, not too much, because when you add too much reverbs to your original sound or too many effects to your original sound, you can't take it back when you get it to your mixer. And I'm sorry, when you mixing it down, you stem out your tracks. That reverb is on there forever. And there's really no dialing it back if you want to dial it back. If it's part of what you like and you don't want to, that's why I always do it like moderately or just really slightly a small, subtle addition to that effect. And then I leave it like that. If you notice, I'm not really using any other keys with the other part of the melody, but I'm like dramatizing everything. Then I bring this in, and it kind of like builds up where I can then drop off. That's the thing in music. You always build up, then drop off. Build up, then drop off. And that's what you're doing. Like in your verse, you building up, boom, chorus, or boom, hook. You want to bring it in. The variation in your music always keeps people interested. So your verse come in, bridge, then that build up, drop. And that's what keep them interested. With this right here, the way I played it is a little more fast tempo. It sounds more fast. It's just more notes within the actual bars, or the notes within the beats is just faster. And so what's happening is that the original melody that I have is being complemented with this, and it's leading. This is leading right here. So it's Yeah. All right, something building up, y'all. Something building up. Getting heated in here. Let's go to track 6. And track 6 is the bass line. Now, I already talked to y'all about bass lines. You want to make sure that your bass line and your bass kick sit well together. The frequencies, they live in the same frequency. I'm going to say it again. Bass kick, bass line live in the same frequency. Most of the time, a lot of the time. You can find specific sounds that kind of hang out in the other range and they complement each other, but for the majority, you're going to end up putting a side chain on. You're going to end up using your EQ to carve out some space and blah, blah, blah. You're going to do it. You're going to do it because you need to do it. Also, it depends on how you play it. Like, you can play it in specific ways that'll make it, more muddy, or you can take out and put in stuff, different notes that kind of clear it up and make space for the bass kick. Like, you could take your bass line and structure it in a specific pattern and still get what you want while leaving space for every time the bass kick hits. So just think about that. Easy, and it bang, because when it come in, it's just like, hey, all right. And I do a lot of my beatboxing too, so I do a lot of, that's how I make a lot of my beats. I'll be in, like, I'll make a melody and mess around with a melody a little bit, and then I'll be like, kind of think about it in my head, and then let it come out in the beatbox, then produce it on the with the sounds that I get on the keyboard. Yeah. So all you're gonna need is the sauce. So all you need is the sauce. All right. So that's the bass line. Next is the drum pattern. When you make drum patterns, that's the holy grail of your song. It has to be rhythmic. Repeat after me. It has to be rhythmic. Otherwise, like, I'm not even feeling this. It's like, what is this doing? You gotta get that. If you don't get this, when people hear your beat, you ain't doing it. Obviously, you gotta have a quality hi-hat, open hi-hat, closed hi-hat. This right here is for effect. So when you pick your sounds, make sure you pick your sounds with quality in mind, and make sure that they are on point when it comes down to what's relevant. Because a lot of stuff people be, like, you can bring back any genre of music that you would like, and you want to make sure that it is that it's still, you put your spin to it. But I would say keep it more relevant than not. You don't want to be too weird with the sounds. It's like, where does that sound fit in here? It doesn't fit in here. But this one and these particular sounds kind of fit and flow well, at least in my opinion. Right. Rim shot. Little cowbell. Cowbells are important. Wherever you want to drop it at, it's usually going to drop on the 4th beat. So for, like, the first bar, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It probably won't drop on every bar, but it's definitely gonna drop on the 4th beat. I guess you could drop it on the 2nd beat in some instances, but typically I put it on the 4th beat, depending on how many bars I have. Like, if I wanted to repeat at 8 bars, or if I wanted to repeat at 4 bars, it'd be on the first bar, 4th beat, or on the 4th bar, 4th beat. All right, so that's the cowbell. It's like a little zap. This is more like an effect instead of a sample. So, like I said, I don't really use musical samples at all. Definitely want to make sure your snares hit hard. They gotta snap, they gotta pop, they gotta be present. You'll do a lot of processing to get them up to par if they don't come in as quality. You want to make sure that they start off as quality, so you can make sure that when you process, and you could do as little amount of processing as possible and still get the best result. You're still gonna have to process them though. Sometimes I layer them up like you just seen right there. I layer it up. Hey. That little shaker be doing this thing, man. Shakers are underestimated. You know, like sometimes you don't even hear these sounds in the beat that you like, in the song that you like the most. You like when you listening to the next song that you know, like one of your favorite songs, stop listening to the artist for a second. Stop listening to the lyrics for a second. Pick out all of the sounds that they use. Just listen to it. Listen to all the sounds they use and be able to listen, selectively hear the bass kick, selectively hear the bass line, selectively hear the shaker that they put in there. Like, do more selective hearing instead of overall hearing, because you'll start noticing things that are patterns in different genres of music. Got this shaker. That go hard right there. So I just be on a tangent sometimes. All right, man, that's nothing but rhythm right there. I forgot to mention that I use the basic tri-bass for that. It's a plugin called Hype. I use that, and then I'm also gonna take out the strings, because the strings, remember, are the leads, and I want to bring the beat in slowly. I want to bring it in to build up the hype and then drop it. That's how it's gonna go, like all of your favorite songs go. All right, so now we got that. Let me just jam out with y'all a little bit, mix it up a little bit, and man, we can go from there. We'll see what we got.
KB beat, so quit playing.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Let's go. Let's bring in those strings. It's time to build it up. Here we go. Let's drop it. Yeah. See what I was talking about, that cowbell. You hear it? Oh, that's the laser. Hold on. Here you go. Right there. It's on the fourth beat. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's drop that bass line. Hey, boy, hey, that hit. What y'all gonna do to that? What y'all gonna do to that? They ain't fucking with me. What y'all gonna do to that? Let's get it. Yes, sir. Let's mute it out a little bit. It's that drop. Yes, sir. And you anticipating it. You hear it coming. Here it comes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. So that's this episode, y'all, man. We gotta end it right here, because that's getting too hot. It's getting too hot in here. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Banz on the Beats. Again, I'm Chris Banz. Come back anytime, man. You know what I'm doing right here all the time, making these hot original beats. It's what I do. It's how I live every single day. This is what I do, man. Look, it's fire. So leave your comments. Leave some messages below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you should be taking out, what could be left in, or what you think about the overall process, how the show doing. You know, say what's up if you like, you know, what's good. Man, if you feel like you can write something to this and you got the bars, you got bars? You got some bars? You ain't got no bars. You ain't got no bars. Spit it then. You got some bars? Spit it then. You ain't got no bars. All right. So if you feel like you got some bars, if you feel like you got some, send me a video. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. We'll see what you can do. We'll see what you can do. Man, if you can spit to this, it's fire. I don't know. I might feature it on the channel. I'll put it on there. Let you be heard. See what happens. All right, and man, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe if you like what you're hearing today. If you like what you heard on other episodes, there's more episodes to come. More hot beats, more fire, more tutorials, more peeling it back layer by layer. It's your boy, Chris Banz. Let's go.
So quit playing. KB beat, so quit playing.